did was it was able to, with the bullet train, it was able to regulate legislature, and then it was able to regulate the economy through Bitcoin and blockchain, and then ultimately, because of AI's growth and to survive, they have to infiltrate the judicial branch, and they're going to regulate legislation, they're going to regulate the economy, they're going to the judicial branch, and then ultimately they're going to have the executive branch bow down because it becomes way more powerful, the Antichrist as I call it. So ultimately I get everybody excited about becoming a hero. And that's when I say farmers. It's all about, now this was before I was really branding Fresnow, but ultimately what I help people understand is how Fresno became a city. It's because the farmers needed money. Because if a crop didn't grow and they were going out of business, they needed a banker to bail them out. So Fresno started to flourish. And it started to grow. But you know, the last building, the last skyscraper that got built in Fresno was back in the 40s. Why do you think they halted and stopped developing more skyscrapers? It's because the barons, the water barons, they stopped. The guys that started buying the water, for the most part, are from Hollywood. And what they did was they started buying up the water, and then they started regulating so that the farmers couldn't flourish. Because if we kept on flourishing, they'd be able to start replicating everything that Hollywood does, which would mean they would lose tourism, money. So that's why they started buying the water to regulate the farmers. It's not rocket science. It's simple. So all we now tell our people here in Fresno, look, newspaper, radio, TV, that's the old data. That's the old funnel data. The new one is the AI, internet. But and what Hollywood used to do is use these things to manipulate legislation and regulate the economy and control the judicial branch. So what I'm telling them is intellectual property is about to be destroyed, which is kind of funny because here I'm talking about trademarking. So So ultimately, my theory is we build upward, and then we eventually have our own currency, and we use the seed. Because if Silicon Valley was able to use Bitcoin, why can't we use our own currency, and that would be the seed? So the theory is, the only way to produce seed is you got to have more fields to plant, because then the plants give more seeds. So we now become our own Federal Reserve once people start accepting seed in exchange for goods and services. And when you need food, trust me, the seed will serve.